As Christian men, we are called to surrender our lives to Jesus. To surrender to Jesus means to give in, not to give up. We are called to use our strengths, abilities, and opportunities to grow and prosper. We are called to strengthen ourselves, our families, and our communities. We are called to be disciplined, courageous, and honorable. This is Surrendered Strength. How will you be forgiven? What's up? It's another episode of the Surrendered Strength Radio. I'm your host, Donald Lansing, and I'm glad to have you. As always, it is a blessing to have you listening, learning, as our goal and mission is to live a life that honors and glorifies God. So that is what we are pursuing here at Surrendered Strength. And just glad to have other men and women involved, people that are trying to live that life. Because look around us, we need more people that want to live a life that honors and glorifies God. Because, like I said, just look around. It is becoming more end of times by the day. So, again, happy to have you here. I want to encourage you to go to honorandglorify.com. Check out what we got going on over there. Also, like, subscribe, share, and leave a review, comment. If you have any thoughts, this gets posted on not just podcast platforms, but also on YouTube. So if you are one that likes to watch, you can watch. And before we get into today's episode, I want to, for those of you watching, you'll be able to see this. I want to show you a new daily planner that I have put out. Let's move this out of the way. And it has on the front, Honor and Glorify, new daily planner. It's 11 by 8.5, so there's lots of room. You can get this on Amazon, and it's not too expensive, but I want to show you what's inside. If I can get this page open. So, wrong way again. Let's see if we can get. There we go. So, I have a monthly calendar where you can write down different dates, notes on the bottom, notes and diagrams. If you're like me, you draw, doodle, do things that, you remember things in picture more than words sometimes. So next, we go into the days. Here we go. We're getting it. On the top, you can circle month, circle day, put your verse of the day, quote of the day, top priorities. We have we got to have our priorities straight. Got to know what we're doing. This is not working very well. There we go. We got 24-hour list or schedule. You can schedule everything down. Things to remember, more notes on the bottom. Again, this is available on Amazon, and it's a 4-month daily planner. And this planner is based off of the book that is also the ebook that I have on Amazon, 15 Proven Ways to Become Disciplined and Valuable as a Christian. We need to be disciplined. We need to be valuable. And, we can have one or the other, and we're falling short. I mean, we're always falling short of God's glory, but we need to be disciplined. And in our discipline, we need to be valuable. That means we need to use our disciplined minds, disciplined body, disciplined souls to be valuable, to love others, essentially. So again, that's available to you guys on Amazon, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes. I encourage you to go to Amazon. Again, ebook 15 Proven Ways to Become Disciplined and Valuable as a Christian. That's also on Amazon. You can also go to honorandglorify.com, as I mentioned earlier, and find different things related to that, links to that as well. So with that, let's dive into today's topic. And the question that I presented was at the beginning was, how will you be forgiven? How will you be forgiven? So a lot of people might go in a lot of different ways when asked that question, but this comes from the Lord's Prayer. And there's different versions, obviously, but the ESV, English Standard Version, the other day as I was reading it, really, for some reason, how God kind of works in ways where things pop out at you different times, whether you read it 2 times, 10 times, 100 times. There's things that are popping out at us that we notice differently as we read them because we are growing and God is just putting different things on our hearts. So as I was reading that the other day, there was a line that popped out at me, and it was the second part of verse 12, which if you want to follow along, this is Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 through 13 in, again, English Standard Version. It says, "Pray then like this: Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." So again, verse 12 says, "Forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors." And this is a different version of the Lord's Prayer than what I learned growing up in going to church. And even though I've had the English Standard Version Bible for a long time, and had multiple, but for some reason, again, this just stuck out to me recently. Verse 12 again is, "Forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors." And that second part really, really was on my heart because it really makes you think, okay, we're asking for forgiveness, but we're asking it up to the level that we have forgiven the people that we have, um, our debtors, people that have debts against us or have sinned against us, or trespass is another word that is used in different versions. And as I thought about that, have I done a good job of forgiving people? And if I haven't, what is that going to look like for me as someone who is asking for forgiveness up to the level that I have forgiven other people? And as I thought about that, that worries me. And maybe it worries you. Or have you forgiven people their sins, their debts, their trespasses against you in a way that you want God to forgive you? And again, it worries me and makes me really start thinking about, okay, let's go back and what am I holding on to? What grudges am I holding on to? What debts am I holding on to with the people in my life, whether it's my wife, my kids, coworkers, friends, whatever it may be? What debts am I holding on to? And I want to encourage you to really search your heart, pray to God that He would bring these things to light, that we would understand that there may be things that we have not forgiven people for. And it might not be a huge thing, but if we haven't forgiven, then it's still on our hearts and it's still causing rot in our heart and in our soul. And we earlier, just a little bit ago, actually, I was reading. It's just basically a daily devotional, and today's topic was forgiveness, and it talked about the servant who was forgiven his large debt from the king, but then he went to one of his servants, and he had a little debt, and he didn't forgive him. And it talked about how the only people that truly are going to be punished and truly imprisoned, as that book said, is those who weren't able to forgive or didn't forgive. So, in that parable, it's the one who he had like 10,000. I don't remember the actual amount, but he owed a large amount to the king. King forgave him of all his debt. He went, and it was like 100, $10,000 versus $100 or whatever similarity, and the servant didn't forgive for that small debt. We need to forgive, because that forgiveness or that lack of forgiveness is going to eat us alive. And again, as I've kind of been praying about this and thinking about this in my own life, I've noticed that there has been lots of debts that I have not forgiven, lots of things, lots of areas where I need to really start forgiving people and letting go, and just allowing God to do what God does. And it's just a continual surrender, to surrender to God, and to just, when people come against us, it is what it is. Forgive them and let God have his vengeance, and move on from there. The other night, actually, I was at work, and some of my coworkers were talking about certain criminals and how certain criminals should have certain penalties. They were particularly talking about the death penalty, and towards certain criminals or people who commit certain crimes. And the one of my coworkers asked, what does the Bible say about this? And say we're talking about the death penalty, and he brought up, eye for an eye, and I'm like, yes, that's in the Old Testament, but Jesus tells us that if we even think about hatred in our heart towards an enemy, towards a friend, towards anybody, that is the equivalent of murder. And I didn't or should have followed up with more of that, and God says vengeance is his, that we are to forgive and let God do what God does, and let the wrath of God be on those who have not repented, who have not confessed their sins, and just allow our hearts, our souls, to be at peace with God's will. So I just want to again encourage you guys to look in your heart, see if there's any debts, any sins, any trespasses that you have not forgiven, and really pray for forgiveness towards those sins, debts, and trespasses, because we are asking for forgiveness of our debts and our sins up to the level and more than what we have forgiven those people that have sinned against us. So we need to forgive, not only, as I was telling my kids, not only, is it good to just forgive, but it's healing. It heals us. It allows us to love and to accept love, to experience love when we have forgiven people And, a lot of times people don't even know what they're doing when they sin against us. So to hold that grudge is just only hurting ourselves. And I want to follow or finish with this. For some reason, this is true in my life. I don't know if it's true in your life, but for some reason it's easier to forgive people that I don't know really well than the people that are closest to me. And again, maybe this isn't true in your life, but it's true in my life. It's easier for some reason to forgive people that I don't know that may do something against me, to forgive. I'll never see him again. Just whatever, you do you. I'm gonna keep going on my way and wash away and forgive anything you've just done to me. But when it comes to people that are closest to me, those are the ones that I struggle with the most. So I want to just encourage you. Maybe you're the same way. Maybe you have family members that, for whatever reason, that it's just really hard to forgive them. We still need to forgive them. We need to offer them grace, offer them mercy, and forgive them, because the people that are closest to us may need it the most, and we need it the most, so we can experience their love and they can experience our love, and we can just enjoy this life that God has given us. So I encourage you to search your hearts, forgive everyone, but pay attention to the people closest to you, as they might be the hardest people to forgive. But those are the people that you love the most, that they love you the most. So I encourage you to just forgive. And again, Jesus says, not 7 times, but 77 times forgive. So I encourage you to forgive, continue to live a life that honors and glorifies God. Also, go grab the daily planner, Amazon, and just type in honor and glorify daily planner. You can also go to honorandglorify.com, get the ebook, and go from there. I'm also going to be putting out a 30-day challenge to become disciplined. 30 days to discipline challenge. Got to mention that at the beginning. That will be on honorandglorify.com soon also. Until next time, continue to live in a way that honors and glorifies God. Thanks for listening. Connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at Surrendered Strength. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and live the Surrendered Strength Code. Discipline, courage, honor.